Welcome back to the greatest business channel on the internet. Today, I want to talk about how faith is required if you want to find business success, any kind of success. If you want to triumph over something that not many people are doing, and yeah, you need faith. And this is why actually believing in God is a cheat code to success. But even without believing in God, you still need to have faith. And what I mean by faith is, if I go back to 2012, where I didn't even believe in God, I lose £100,000 in a month that I didn't even have. I owed the money to my supplier and I only had 15 grand in the bank. Business had been building for like 2 years. And this was really the point where most people would have quit because I was in a load of debt. I could have wound the company up. I could have just closed down, but I had faith that my idea would still work. So we kept going. I flew to China. I worked out the debt with my supplier. We went back and forth and we came up with a payment plan. And little did I know, right when it was darkest, right when I should have quit there, where most people would quit, where I've seen time and time again people quit, I was only a few months away from the craziest success ever, where not only would I have made back the £100,000 that I lost, I made £1 million net that year, which was wild. And there was no way in that March that I ever could have thought, using a logical brain, that we would have that success, and that success would be just around the corner. Now, even when I speak to recent, but I believed in God at this point, I obviously got robbed for $272,000, and right when I got robbed for the money, most people would have quit. I owed customers a load of money. I didn't have the cash to refund them. It might have been, in the logical brain, the smarter thing to just close down the company now. It's over. But no, I went deep into my head, and I was just thinking, this is not how I go out. This is not how I go out. I know that we can overcome this. And guess what? 2-3 months later, we're making more money than we ever had, and we got that money back. It was just crazy. So what I've seen is that's what faith is, really. It's your ability to overcome the logical mind, which is basically trying to tell you to quit, telling you that it's all over, that it's always like, you know how the saying goes? It's always darkest before it's dawn. And I've seen that every single time. And the reason I'm actually making this video today is because it's 4 years since I started out here in Europe. And this was like my latest evidence to this fact. Now, when we started out bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Obviously, I got a very successful business in the UK that distributes products. And we started the business out here to start distributing here. Now, after 2 years, or 3 years actually, and nearly £1 million invested, my finance director saying, we can't afford to continue to put money out here because UK had started to get tough. The market had got tough. But again, I went deep into my head and I just found, and I kept leaning on the dream of it will work, it will work, it will work, we will find a way. And I kind of viewed myself as a warrior that every single day we were having to turn up and fight. And if my job was to die here on this hill, then so be it. And then guess what? 2 months later, after business was at its worst, it all turns around. So I feel like the whole faith element, like I said, is a cheat code to believe in God because you understand that everything is happening for a reason. The path is there to make you the guy you're supposed to become. And if you believe that, it also gives you a secondary power, which is accepting failure. So you don't have to do the logical things because you accept that, okay, you know what? If things go really, really bad now, that's just what was supposed to happen. So yeah, after 4 years of business, we now have an incredible business out here that does £500,000 a month. But if I'd have gone and we do £1 million a month back in the UK, but obviously that was already a successful business that I started 15 years ago now, but that's always had its crazy trials and tribulations. The point of it is that every single time I've seen big success, it's been so bleak, and it was so bleak just before the success came. It's normally like this, you start a business, it goes like this, and then there's this slump. And it's not like the sales slump. The sales could be building, but you're just like, this is hopeless. I've been doing this for years and nothing is happening. I can't see it working. And if you can fight through that and get through that part, that's when suddenly the success is bang. And it just blows you away. Now, I've seen so many people quit. People who believe in God, people who don't believe in God. But the same is they lost faith in the idea. What you need to remember is you started out with a plan. And even if it takes 10 years to fulfill, you never drop the imagination and the dream. And what I would do is every time I was in really, really tough times these last few years, I would imagine what I'm going to be like in 20 years when I'm a king, when I have everything that I'd ever worked for. I thought, you know what? maybe I will have to go bankrupt now. Maybe I will have to learn everything, because even though that'll be painful, I know that the version of me that loses everything will be a better version of me. Even if I don't want to learn that lesson, even if I don't want God to take me to my knees, I do know that if I allow that to happen, I will be better. So I made peace with the worst situation, which was everything going. And then guess what? It works out. And I've seen this time and time again. And it's happened every single time in my journey. And even if I go back to my business had a really tough time in 2017, I was telling myself this, and this is like a loser mentality, right? I was telling myself this: I'm not enjoying this business. I don't know if this is for me. I think that maybe I should be doing something else. I don't really feel like this is what I want to be doing. But really, that was me trying to give an off-ramp because business just wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. Now, what I realize, where I have like endless faith, is okay, we might have to be in the trenches for a long time. It might have to be like crazy, crazy tough. But I know that if I keep working and keep moving forward, in the end, the business will be incredible. Even if this business went bankrupt, I would start another. I'm not going to be rolling over and being a slave to life. I'm going to every single day stand up and fight until it works. But I think having that attitude is what made it work. And then luckily the business didn't go bankrupt. The business is stronger than it's ever been. I obviously just bought a brand new car last month, which is actually one of the things that I kept manifesting. When I was in the really tough trenches, I kept imagining what it's going to be like pulling the sheet off a brand new Lambo. And I kept saying to myself, like, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And I kept like imagining what that's going to feel like. And not because things are that important. Like, I really don't care about things. They're just like trophies for your hard work. I kept telling myself because that was what gave me the strength to stay with the faith of this is going to work. But yeah, like I said, every single thing that ever happens to any of us, there's a reason why it happens. Now, the people who don't have faith just think, oh, poor me, this is shit. And I used to think that, like, oh, maybe this business isn't for me. Maybe, but that's so weak. You need to just think, okay, the tougher the times, the better the reward at the end of it. And every single thing that's worked out for me, it's been the toughest times, which are the most beautiful times, because you know how much heartache and like, what do you call it? I wouldn't say, like depressive thoughts, but obviously you overcome that. That's part of the journey, because you can't have happiness without sadness, but you fight through that. And I think what most people don't understand is you need to fight through that. That success is at the end of hardship. I think that we look at everyone else's journeys, especially on like social media and all that kind of thing, that they go from here to here and it was easy. But no, I bet if you speak to every single successful person, they had slumps where everything in life was telling them, nah, just give up and get back to the comfortable life. Go and just get a job. Just go and do this. But no, you stood up and you kept fighting. It's so easy to quit. And right when you think that it's the most hopeless, that you've lost your good money that you saved up and this isn't smart, you shouldn't put any more good money in, that is the time that you need to go all in. Now, I'm not talking about each of your specifics, so like, don't blame me if you go bankrupt or whatever, but that's your journey. It's going to make you tougher. If I got brought to the streets now and I had to come back from being homeless, I would still do it, and I know I will get further than I am now. I just know that we all have a crazy journey and lesson. My thing is, I'm like, okay, I obviously don't want to lose everything. But if I have to, then it is what it is, and I do know I'll be better. Like, here's something. Ask yourself this. The version of you that goes all in on your goal now, and it doesn't work, and it's complete collapse, complete embarrassment to your friends, complete everything, will they be better than the one who just gets success with none of that? The answer is unequivocally yes. It's just that it's hard to stomach that. But at the end of it, when it all works, that is the thing that makes you the most proud of overcoming. It's so crazy. Life is like a beautiful journey. And like I said before, you have Marcus Aurelius says the obstacle is the way. And that's so true. The hardest journey to get to where you want is the most valuable journey. And we shouldn't be trying to get around the hardship, because the hardship is what makes it great. Even when it comes to like relationships breaking down, losing loved ones, losing all your money, going bankrupt, as long as you bounce back and you don't take it rolling over, you will be way better. The only person who's not better after serious trials and tribulations is the person who rolls over and says, poor me, and thinks that this wasn't part of a plan. Every time that something bad happens to you, you need to be thinking, What can I learn from this? Because if you believe that everything was happening for a reason, it's easy to keep your faith. And if you can keep your faith, in the end, it will always work. That much I promise you. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I am just off now. I'm going to go away for the weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. I'm taking my new car on a landlord's event with the Cannon Run. It's going to be sick. We're taking it on the ferry, driving back from the European office here in the Netherlands back to the UK. But it was 4 years ago today that I did my first day out here in Europe, and it was just me and my colleague Owen and Beek. And now we have 13 of us. We're doing like £500,000 a month just out here. And there was times when it looked absolutely bleak. So I thought it would be fitting for me to make a video like this. And I'm going to keep making these videos, which are more like business, spiritual, manifestation, because truthfully, this is what I live and die by. I actually just came off of the running machine. I play music with no words, and I was just on the running machine listening to my mind and my thoughts that come up, and yeah, going so deep on the beauty of the hardship. And I thought this would be a sick video to make. But I hope it helps some of you guys out. And yeah, the darker the times, the sweeter it is when you get over them. And the crazy part about it is when things are really dark, you have no idea how close the light is. And most people quit there. That's the thing. So I hope you all guys have a great day. God bless you all. I love you all. And I'll see you on the next video. Over and out.